Another.
Hi, and welcome to College Planning Untangled, where we help families simplify the college planning process. I'm Kristin Clark, and I'm here with Bobby Hood. And Bobby, we're talking about a really important subject today.
Oh, yeah.
And a tough one for parents.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is that time of year where sometimes, kids say, will call up and say, I'm unhappy. I'm thinking about leaving. I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah, and
Right?
it's
And
like it's heart-wrenching.
Oh, it's so scary. Like, you go through all this effort and you feel like everything's directed toward this. And then, what do you do when, kid says, I just want to drop out. I want to get out of here.
Well, let's talk about that. And if you're listening live or if you're looking at the replay, guys, get your pen and paper out because we've got 12 steps that we want to talk through quickly today to help you understand how to navigate through this. So,
Absolutely.
All right. First one, be okay with having open communication. Your kiddo's going to need this, right?
Well, your first reaction is going to be to say, no, you can't do that. Right. And that's going to lead to, anger and, just frustration. You gotta ask why, right?
Well, and that's number 2 is not only, or do you want to talk about it, but understand their reasons. And, for them, who knows what they're going to say. And the thing is, you can't tackle it. You can't understand it. And you can't help them through that if you don't understand why.
Absolutely. And I mean, you've got to just let them talk and say their piece, right? Don't immediately start telling them what you think they should do, right?
Oh gosh, Bobby, that's always what I say, right? It's like, don't tell them what they should be thinking because they do have thoughts. They're almost adults and there's reasons behind it. And if they're miserable, that's an awful place to be. So hey, let's think about it, understand it. And then the next thing is explore the alternatives.
Right. I mean, it's possible that they may have thought of something else they want to do, but if you don't let them have space to talk, they might not be telling you, that they have another idea of what they want to do instead.
Yeah. And some of those other ideas, it might be thinking about a different major instead. That may help, with if they're hating their classes or whatever that is. It might be changing schools.
Yeah, sure.
It could be that they just need a leave of absence.
Mm-hmm.
And one other one that's coming to my mind is thinking about a trade instead of college. So that's still schooling. It's just a different form of schooling, right?
Absolutely. Right. So maybe the alternative is move home and get an associate's degree from a community college or get a degree from a trade school, get a certificate. Right.
Yep. Next up, have them visit their advising center because they've been through this before. So they also can help, just have these conversations, and they're going to be able to help them with what's the next step. So,
oh gosh, right. Because if you are going to, you can't just driving home and not showing up for the rest of the semester is not the right way to do it. Right.
Right. Well, I mean, now we're talking money again, money's always a big thing here. Right. So yeah, I mean, if you can get your kiddo to finish off the semester, at least they've got their credits, the money that's paid, they're utilizing that. So, and that's where I think the advising center can also just kind of help them think through that as well and get them to the right types of places.
Yeah. And there probably is also, an official way to say, hey, I am discontinuing, but I might come back like I'm taking leave of absence. There might be an official way to do that rather than just I am quitting, right? Maybe there's some way to set that up with the college that it's possible to come back or something like that.
Awesome point. And they are going to be able to explain to your kiddo what are the financial considerations.
Right.
So, if they leave now, they're going to have to think about those things. And for parents, if you've taken out loans, you're going to have to figure out if those loans are going to be due the minute they step foot off campus or if there's a grace period. All the things that have to do with, scholarships.
Right. Yeah. So if there is any financial aid, will it terminate? Can you take a semester off and then come back and still have the scholarship? That sort of thing. Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got to understand that. The next thing that we want to talk about is career planning. So if your student is saying, I'm out, what is the next plan? And I would tell you on career planning, guys, it's what's your goal? And if they don't know, I can kind of understand where college might have been there. When things got tough, it was easy to kind of go, I want out, because they don't have that anchor to say, here's what I'm trying to get accomplished.
Yeah. So what we've done so far is said, okay, talk, communicate, figure out, what are your reasons? What is it? Do you have alternatives? Have you talked to the advising center? Like, okay, financially, how would this work? Okay. So now if you're going to do this, okay, so yeah, what is actually your career goal? Perhaps that wasn't something that was set out before, but maybe it's now they've realized, oh, I don't want to do this thing that I thought I wanted to do. And I do know that I want to do this other thing. And it only requires a trade degree or an associate's degree or whatever. Right. Yeah. And that's where I know my students who have worked with you and figured out their skills and careers and goals before they go to college are in much better shape and are at much less risk of this happening. Right. But if they have, if not, this is a time where it's never too late to do it, right? No matter how old you are, to figure out what your skills are and what your goals are. So if the student already knows, then talk about that, right? If the student doesn't know, this is a good time to get in touch with you, I think, right?
Yeah, get in touch with me, or even, start the conversations at home. And if you don't feel like you're getting anywhere, give me a call, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. The next thing is this, and I think this one's a huge one: supportive services. So if you've got a student that's sitting on campus, maybe upset, maybe not, maybe having some questions about, oh my gosh, I've failed and all these things,
right.
Getting them to the counseling center on your college campus is going to be important, especially if you're asking them to, get through the semester. Having eyeballs on them and having them talk to somebody is going to be important.
Yeah. So not just the career counseling center, but now talking about mental health services, there are really good counseling services, and absolutely, like, even if you feel like you're not in turmoil, right? This decision is going to put you in turmoil no matter what, and you may not realize it. And so absolutely get to the counseling, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I would even say on that, Bobby, still encourage them to try to make friends. I know that's a big reason too why sometimes kids don't like college. They don't feel like they connect with anybody. But if you're going to have them stay, try to still get them in clubs. Getting a job maybe on campus would be a great way to use up some of their time and to meet people. So I would do that as well.
Absolutely.
All right. Next step, timing considerations. We've kind of hit on this, but try to get them to stay out this semester. We talked about the financial piece of that. What else is coming to your mind?
Well, just like, okay, if you are coming home, okay, what is the timing? Like, what is there another program you want to go into? When does it start? Is it a year from now? What are you going to do in the meantime? Like, do you have an idea for a job that you want to get, right? Because otherwise you may end up with someone on your couch for a couple of years doing nothing. And you've got to start talking about timing. Okay. And that's what, that kind of the next step is too, right? Create a plan, right? Which is like, okay, is this something you can transfer into next semester? Is it something that starts next year? Then what is the plan, right? Because how can you continue moving forward in some way, right?
Yes. And Bobby, I'm a huge proponent of if they come home, you get a job as soon as humanly possible. And let's talk about the reasons why on that, because now they're still moving forward. Because you think about it, if you got a kid that's sitting on the couch playing video games and everybody else is off at school and their other friends already have jobs, all the stuff, and they're sitting there doing nothing, that's not going to help. So a body in motion stays in motion. Keep that kid in motion, because too, what's going to happen, and this is going to come up later. I'm just going to go ahead and put it in now. And that is to stay in touch with all of their buddies at school. Yep. And here's the importance of this. If they have a job, again, something's happening in their life and they get to talk about that. So it's important for them to stay in touch with their friends and reach out to those people that they did connect with at college. You stay in touch with them, while they're at college, if they're not coming home right away. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's just like letting them know that you're there for them, right? And that, because it would be really easy to get mad and then just sort of say, oh, well, I guess you're just going to do whatever you want and then not talk to them. It's really important to stay in touch with your kid, you know?
Yep. And then this is the last one, supporting their decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Guys, I know sometimes it doesn't feel like it, coming from a mom of two almost adults myself, you know, in their 20s. It doesn't seem like they care. You're the easiest person for them to get mad at, and that's okay. Let them know that you care and that you support whatever they're going through and that you're going to help them through, because that will return in spades as they start to figure this out and, you know, start coming back to you and trusting you and knowing that you actually are smart and you're not a big dummy. So,
well, absolutely. Right. And we all made decisions when we were younger that, you know, our parents weren't completely, you know, may not completely agree with, but still they supported us because, you know, they're our parents, you know, hopefully. And that's how that works. And so even if it's not exactly the decision you would have made for yourself, be supportive. Absolutely.
yeah. And I think talking that way to your friends also about, you know, what is the go forward plan is going to help you too, and help you
Absolutely.
support your kid, because they're going to hear that in the background. So, you know, when you're talking to friends, it's all about being positive and knowing that they're going to find their way. So,
Absolutely. Right.
that's it, guys. Good luck with this. If you have any challenges on this, please reach out to either Bobby or I. You know, we deal with and work with teens all the time, and parents. And we understand how this can be a tough time, but hey, it's just one blip on the radar and you got this.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, this is great. I will talk to you.